Hello. Good afternoon. You guys are having some kind of fun, huh? Well, Cody was almost right. I got into Dallas from Hong Kong on Wednesday morning at 6:15 after a 13-hour delay, and flew here yesterday, got up at 4 a.m. So I finally gotten some sleep, but I would have flown 26 hours to be here because you have an amazing company, an amazing product. I've been using it ever since I heard of it. And Cody Bateman actually touched my life years ago with the I am statements. I know you're all familiar with them, but he got me to do that exercise, and I was sitting in that audience, and I wrote this list of I am things. And one of them was I am going to be speaking on stages around the world, sharing with people my great love affair with the profession of network marketing, which was kind of interesting because the only place that I'd ever spoken before then was in companies that I had built large checks with, and they kind of have to let you speak. And I'm really not much of a speaker, I'm a storyteller. But since then, I have spoken on a lot of stages at the generic events in the industry, but this is actually the first time that I've ever asked to become and speak at a specific company event. So that's kind of full circle if you think about it. So when I got that invitation, I'd have flown in from Mars because I really feel that Cody set me on that path and helped me to do something that I had always dreamed of. And that's one of the things that I want to talk to you about today, because I have had the pleasure through the remarkable, incredible, wonderful, wacky profession of network marketing to see the world and travel the world and take my business internationally. And I know that you're all very excited about the idea of having an international business as SendOutCards goes that route. Or who wants to be international? Let me tell you what I have found about the international space. People around the world are just like you. They speak a different language more often than not, but they have the same hopes, the same dreams. They want a better tomorrow than yesterday for their children. They are afraid of the same things of a world gone mad. They wonder if they're good enough. Most people think they're not. That's why you have such an amazing, amazing product. You have at your fingertips every single day, every single moment of every day, the opportunity to reach out to somebody and say, you make a difference. You matter. It's important that you're here. It is such a gift, and you have to use it and use it often. Because if you want success in life, let other people know their matter and give them a chance to be important and show them they can be important to others, and you will own it. Now, when you go international, I want to give you a little bit of a warning. When I started my business, I was here in America. And I knew that I was having success as more and more people told me I was crazy. You know, I was doing network marketing. You're crazy. That's crazy. That sounds crazy. And after about 10 years in the industry, I started thinking bigger. I realized that people going internationally certainly couldn't know anything that I didn't. I'd been doing it for 10 years. I just had to have a bigger picture. I'd never seen myself going international. And then one day, people were telling me I was crazy in 15 different languages, and I knew that I had arrived. And that's going to happen for you too, because make no mistake, I was talking with one of my idols. One of those people that you sit in the audience and take notes and say, hey, one day I'll get to meet him, backstage a while ago. That's Jordan Adler. You're very fortunate because you get to hear from him like every day. I used to have to get on airplanes to go see him. Now, with the videos, I date myself. I can just turn on Facebook and hear from him. But he was saying to me, you know, Lisa, I wonder if we're ahead of our time. Don't wonder. You are. You're in a space where you are always ahead of your time. But you have the ability to touch people at the most fundamental level. And if you will accept those two realities, you'll do just fine. Now, I didn't know what I was going to talk about today, so I decided that I would fall back on the fundamental basics that have always taught me through. You see, when you've been doing this as long as I have, which is about 107 years, I use products from lots of companies. Don't I look good for 120? But seriously, more than half my life, I've been doing network marketing. And people always ask you, what do you feel is the most important trait in a successful distributor. And we all have opinions on that, and mine have changed over the years. But what I've come to believe is the most important thing in your level of success will be your beliefs. What you believe to be true, which many people confuse with facts. And I want to dispel that rumor or that assumption for you, because what you believe or your beliefs are your interpretations of the facts you're presented with in life. Two very different things, because facts can have many truths that are 100% accurate about them. And we're going to example that right now. See this bottle of water? You're looking at it, and some people are saying, oh, it's half full. Some people are saying it's half empty. You've heard it before. The only fact is that it's filled 50% capacity. But those people that see it as half full, that's 100% accurate and 100% true. Those people that see it as half empty, also 100% accurate, 100% true. So the question you have to ask yourself when presented with facts in life is, which truth serves you better? Which truth that you choose to believe, because we choose our beliefs, is going to help you get where you want to go and allow you to have the most meaningful, most complete, most fulfilled life. So let's look at what statisticians and studies show us. By and large, not always, but by and large, studies show us that the half-empty people, the people that see the bottle as half empty, are usually, that was a prop, this is for me, are usually scarcity thinkers. They see the world with suspicion. They look at that bottle of water that is half empty, and they really don't want to drink from it, because with every drop of water that they drink, there's less water. And they're so afraid of the bottle being empty, they certainly don't want to share the water with anybody. Less water for me. And they view everybody they meet with suspicion. They're all water thieves coming to take my water. Now you can imagine what life in that frame of mind must be like. And understand and make no mistake about the fact that at the end of the day, no matter how they hoard that water, no matter how they suffer as they hold back and drink drop by drop when they are parched, one day the water will be gone and they will in fact die of thirst. Now on the other hand, by and large, the half-full bottle people, not always, but most of the time, are abundance thinkers. They tend to be collaborative in their thinking. They look at They look at the bottle and they say, gee, I can drink this water. There's more when this came from. I'll find it. And I'll share the water with others, because if I have other people involved, together we're going to find the water. Even if I don't find it for myself, somebody will find the water, and they'll publish the how to find the water solution, and the world will all drink water. Now, that's another way to look at things. Which truth serves you better? And every single day, you are confronted with facts, and you have to make choices on those facts. And every single day when you choose this profession, that happens. You will meet people who will tell you it doesn't work. That may be true for them, which only affects them unless you choose to believe that's true for you. Does it work for you? You see, I suffer from TB, true believerism. I know that network marketing works, and I know that I know, and it never occurs to me that it doesn't. So I am not bothered by those that think that it doesn't, other than to stop for a moment and feel bad for the fact that they will not be blessed by the abundance of what this space can offer, should they not choose to change the way that they interpret whatever facts it is that made them accept that as their truth. Right? So that, to me, in my world of truth, the most important truth for me that changed my life, one of those defining moments, was the day that I realized that I could choose my beliefs about the facts that were put in front of me. And any facts that made me smaller or made what I was able to accomplish less profound, less able to change the world, because I believe that network marketing is about changing the world, pure and simple. Now that sounds crazy, But when you've been crazy as long as I have been, it sounds true. It sounds like reality. And what you really wonder is why everybody else just doesn't see it yet. But then again, having done this for over a quarter century and watching the abundance of companies that have come to the space. Now, they're crummy ones, but they're amazing companies that are changing the planet as we know it, watching the growth of the space internationally, understanding that what I once thought was the last frontier of the American dream, how arrogant of me, is truly the last frontier of the global dream. Watching people in countries where $100 a month is the standard grasp and cling on to this space and having it change their lives, I see that I was always right. It is the last frontier to change the world, for available to every person who sees it, right? And then I look at SendOutCards, and I'm going, wow. Every person on the planet that I've ever met suffers from the same disease. It's called the disease of terminal comparison. It's the disease that makes us play everybody else's highlight reel, and we play our own blooper reel over and over and over again. It's the one that says, they can be happy, but I shouldn't be. They're good enough, but I'm not. And here you have this ability to just change everybody's day in a moment, right? So here's my question. I've been asking this question as I've been in town from a lot of people. And I know how you bring people into the business. I know you have them send a free card. I think it's awesome. It demonstrates the power of the product. But for those of you that are in it, I want you to stop and think for a moment. In your life, there's been at least one person, more than one if you're older than 12, who has changed the trajectory of your life. Because of that person, you are where you are today. They said something, they did something, they demonstrated something to you. A person who made a difference, and if it weren't for them, you wouldn't be where you are today. And my question is this. Have you sent them a card and told them they changed your life? Because if you haven't, you need to. Because every person, once they say yes and they join you in this business, it's the first card you should have them send. You know why? Because this is a business that's fueled by belief. And the person who gets the card that says, you changed my life, is going to pick up a phone and call the person who sent it. And in that phone call, in that process of sending the card saying, you changed my life, and in the process of getting the call saying, I can't believe you stopped to send that, it meant the world to me, they're going to believe more in what they are doing than any training you can ever take them to or anything you can ever say to them. Because nothing builds belief like the connection between two human beings whose lives have touched each other. That's my training for the day. Now I'm going to get back to doing my inspirational talk. Are you excited? Okay. Sorry. 22 hours on airplanes, and nobody told me that Salt Lake City was so dry. I would have never imagined it because it's so beautiful with the mountains. I imagined this from like Vegas where it's like a desert. Beautiful, but you have to drink lots of water. So when you've been doing this for a long, long time, and when you speak a lot, you start to realize that the people that teach you and train you, all those mentors that you should learn to listen to right at the get-go, but if you're like me, you beat your head up against the wall for 3 years until you learn that they really do know what they're talking about. You learn that the life's blood of moving forward in a world of mediocrity, when you're surrounded by so much nonsense and low-level thinking, and you've heard the saying that great minds discuss ideas and average minds discuss people, and mediocre minds discuss gossip and rumor. Well, we live in a mediocre small world these days, so the personal development stuff really does fuel your mind. And when you travel like a crazy person, and I read voraciously, but sometimes you just need things that can turn you in a minute, where you don't have time to read and you don't have time to really devote a lot of it, but you need something that will change your state. And I discovered about 3 years ago TED Talks. And I have this thing that I do, and I highly recommend it. You go to TED Talk and you find something and say, that sounds interesting, and you give it 90 seconds to grab you. And if it doesn't, you keep doing it until you find one that does. And I watched a talk about 3 years ago and actually did write the person who did the talk because it was one of those moments that altered the trajectory of my life. And he actually wrote back, so it does work. And it was called The 5 Phrases That Change Your Life. And I have been speaking about them from stages ever since because I couldn't find anything that I thought they were more applicable to than the remarkable, incredible thing that we do here in the wonderful world of network marketing. And I want to share them with you because I think that they really can impact you and those that you work with if you allow them to. Because life is full of defining moments. Defining moments are moments of decision. There are moments when we hear something or when we arrive at a crossroads and we make a decision to stop and listen to the voice that's telling us to, and we go one way or we go the other. And I listen to this and I replay it in my head almost every day. So here's 5 phrases that will change your life. I didn't have time to put them on slides. I had been ill, and then I got delayed 13 hours. And I know you had an Elmo, and I could write, but if I was writing, then I couldn't look at all of you, and you're all so pretty from here and what I see, and I like to see your reaction. So I'll say them each twice as I talk about it, and they're not very long, and you can write them down. And I'm told that taking notes is good for you anyway, and I think so because it helps me remember. Do y'all take notes? Well, great, then you can write these down, and I won't feel bad about not having written them down for you or having done pretty slides. Oh, my God, they're putting me up there? Put something prettier than me up there. Okay, number 1, you've all heard this one before, by the way, because we've used it in network marketing since the dawn of time when I started. The cover wagons were going west. There was this rumor that kerosene was going to give way to this thing called the light bulb, and then there was me starting in network marketing. All happened around the same time. And one of the first things they would tell you was, number 1, get out of your comfort zone. So one of the phrases that will change your life is get out of your comfort zone, but I want to talk a little bit about it. Because when we hear get out of your comfort zone, the word comfortable is misleading. We think comfortable, and it's like sitting on a comfy couch, watching TV, eating those comfort foods. And a comfort zone is a very, very dangerous place because all a comfort zone is a place in which nothing unexpected that you feel you can't deal with will happen. And a lot of places that are comfort zones are not particularly good places. They're just places where we don't feel that the unexpected will happen to us. Nothing that we are not equipped to handle is going to happen to us. And a lot of comfort zones are very bad places. You hear about battered women who don't leave. You hear about people in abusive relationships who don't leave. You hear about brilliant people who never get out of the mediocre surroundings in which they find themselves to reach their full potential or even begin to examine their potential. That's because they're all in a comfort zone. So get out of your comfort zone. It's the beginning of where all wonder happens. And another thing we have to bear in mind, when you start to have success, every time you step into uncomfortable territory, at some point it becomes comfortable. And you have to challenge yourself again to step out of your comfort zone. That's what we call going to the next level and going to the next level. That's what you count on Cody to do all the time, and he never disappoints. Because you run a company and you go to the next level and then it starts to really work and you want to rest on your laurels and you get to do that for about 2 minutes and then you got to go chasing the next level and the next level. So get out of your comfort zone. Number 2 is challenge your assumptions so you can discover your truths. Challenge your assumptions so you can discover your truths. And this is very important. So much of what we believe, we don't know why we believe it. We just assume it to be true. I meet people all the time, and they tell me network marketing doesn't work. I think I probably thought network marketing didn't work before I'd ever gotten involved in network marketing. But what's interesting is I didn't know anything about network marketing. I'd never been in it. I really didn't know anybody that had ever been in it to the best of my knowledge. I just heard over and over again, those weird things, those network marketing things. My father had told me everything weird came from California, and network marketing was one of those weird things that came from California. And I ask people all the time now, when they tell me it doesn't work, I said, well, okay, obviously you have a reason for believing that. Did you have a bad experience with network marketing? Sometimes people will say yes, and I'll keep asking questions, only to discover they really never had any experience at all. They got into something for 5 minutes and then decided it didn't work based on a bunch of preconceived notions. So if we don't challenge our assumptions to examine and investigate, we really never know what we don't know. And it's okay to say no to something. Smart people do it every day. They just know what they're saying no to. And if you want to be a smart person and not a stupid person, and I like to think I'm a smart person, and I had to learn this, always know what you're saying no to. And in order to do that, you have to challenge your assumptions to discover your truths. And if you do that, you're always in good shape, because there's no reason to do everything. As a matter of fact, 8 out of 10 people should tell you no in network marketing if you do everything right. As long as they know what they're saying no to, it's okay, because you're just looking for those that are looking for you. Number 3 is speak in the language of the person that you wish to become. And this is where Cody's I am statements come in, because this is exactly what that exercise is about. If you want to be the CEO of a multi-million-dollar distribution network, or a CEO of a multi-million-dollar distribution company, which is what you want to be, if you're saying you want to be a 6-figure, multiple 6-figure, or 7-figure earner in anything, particularly in this space, you are talking about being the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. You have to speak and think as that person from day one, and act as that person from day one, and not speak about what you're going to do when you get there, but what you're doing right now. And then it will happen. Or speak as if you have faith, and faith shall be granted to you. Speak in the present tense of who you are becoming, so that you can become that person. Speak in the language of the person that you wish to become. Number 4, make the little decisions with your head, but make the big decisions with your heart. Your head will protect your heart when you make those little decisions, those minor, infrastructure decisions that are necessary to have success in life. But your life will be blessed. Your life will be accented and memorialized by your passion. And passion can only come from your heart and where your heart leads you. So small decisions with your head, big decisions with your heart. And finally, number 5, knowing what you know today and knowing with certainty that in the next 10 years, almost all of it will change. Ask yourself this question: is what I am doing allowing me to serve the greatest number of people for the greatest good? Or in the alternative, am I acting in a way that allows me to serve the greatest number of people for the greatest good, knowing that in the next 10 years, everything is going to change? So knowing what I know today and knowing that in 10 years, almost all of it will change, is what I am doing allowing me to serve the greatest number of people for the greatest good? And if the answer to that question is yes, then don't second guess yourself. Don't look left, don't look right, just don't look down, just look forward and keep your eyes always on the vision of what you're creating, because that is what drives you through the mediocrity of the day and the daily disappointments and when things don't work out and the 26 days a month you want to quit, because there will be 26 days a month every month that you want to quit. The best thing about the business, the people, unquestionably. Worst thing about the business, the people, unquestionably. But the vision, that craziness that Steve Jobs talks about, that every entrepreneur you've ever met who had success talks about, lies in knowing that which everyone else can't see yet will be celebrated and enjoyed by a multitude of thousands once you get it built. That's what you're moving toward. And that basically are the 5 phrases that will change your life. And with that, keep doing what you're doing. And if you're sending 3 cards a day, send 5. If you're sending 10, send 12. The world's in trouble, and if you just do a little bit more than you're doing, just a little bit extra, the ripple effect will create a much larger effect, and we really, really need it. I love you very much. Thank you for having me.